Well, here we are again. We're together again, which is really wonderful. And tonight, I think I'm going to do the one card readings for you. So make sure that you share and save so that people get a chance to have a free reading. We all need that psychic help now, and we're here to help you as much as we possibly can. Um, I'd also like to talk about all over the world. I'm looking on Pinterest, and I'm watching YouTube, and all these witches across around the world are making their own books of shadows, which is what you're supposed to do. But they're doing such a marvelous job, and so many beautiful ideas. And not everyone knows how or what to put in it and what to do. And all you need is an empty journal. Um, but the one thing people don't understand is when you're printing something off of a printer from maybe a magic book and you want to glue it into the pages, which is what we're doing nowadays. Um, the reason you tea stain it is because you're consecrating it. You put together a formula, maybe a cup and a half of spring water, a teaspoon of antibacterial liquid soap, and brown paint, brown acrylic paint with a dab of black, and mix it. And that's your tea stain. But what you do to charge the tea stain is you find a couple of different crystals that you want to charge that tea stain to consecrate every single page of your Book of Shadows. So you charge the crystals in your hand, drop them into the mixture. When you print pieces of information out that you want in your Book of Shadows, um, we tear the edges usually because it lays better when you're gluing it in on a page. But you want to tear when you're almost casting a spell with each page. So you want to tear the edges clockwise. And then if it's a spell to rid something or get rid of obstacles, of course you tear it in the opposite direction and paint it in the same way. And once it's dried and you've done a section, and what I usually do is create a section for the tools of magic, and then herb section, and then protection, and then a spell section, past lives, all kinds of different areas. And I leave, if I buy a book from like A.C. Moore Michaels, it's an empty book. And what I do is I give maybe 10 pages for every subject. And then I also have to give, at least 10 pages for the holidays, because we have the 8 holidays, etc. And then I leave some for family at the back. And at the front, I always put my life as a witch. And I do things that have occurred over time in that first section. It's fun to do, but it's also important that you're keeping your magic alive, and it will keep alive forever. Once you finish that book, you can always do another. We can have as many books of shadows as we wish, and some people like to make different books of shadows for each subject. I have not ever done that. That's a lot of work. But I just want to congratulate all the wonderful magical witches out there that I'm just astounded by your work, and how you're helping others by teaching on Pinterest and YouTube. You're helping others learn how to do this. Um, it couldn't be better. It couldn't be better. Now, I'm definitely going to do as many readings as I can tonight. And as soon as we're ready and you calling through, and actually, I did a reading today for a friend in Cornwall, and she's a friend of a friend in Cornwall. So it's around the world, and it's so much fun because we're all in the same position. We're all at home in our own minds. Our own minds are the thing that we must probably struggle with. We've never had to face the fact that we actually could starve, that we might not be able to have food, we may not be able to keep our shelters, we may not be able to earn a living because of our own misdoings, because we are overpopulated and polluted, etc. We need to rethink the way we live, and I think this is hard for people to grasp, and they just simply wanted to go back the way it was. And we can hope for that. I'm not so sure that's possible. And we're going to try, these cards, they're called, what again?
The Tarot of Dreams.
Tarot of Dreams. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to our technician right here, this wonderful man who helps me do all this. And I read a lot with the Alice in Wonderland deck because I know the story so well. I think I've said this before. My mother read the book to me before I could sit up, so I pretty much know those books. So this gives me a challenge as well as you, that these cards have an immense amount of character, color, and design, and the artist is magnificent. It's a nice set. Lynn Townsend. Lynn, you're the best one. Let's see what happens with all this, Lynn. I hope you can hear me. Some people said they had a hard time hearing my voice because it's pretty soft. Hopefully you can hear what I have to say. Well, we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands can be either wonderful or not so wonderful. In this position that you see means that we are being humbled by our position right now. And that means you are being humbled by your position. But so most of us are at this point. It seems to be striking you harder than most in some way. And if it is, it shows that you do have the strength to overcome this. Because the wand is a magic wand. It's a staff of life. And there are 10. The number 10 is the strongest of all the cards. And you will survive this. And you will do better than you've done before. It's interesting. Very interesting. And we have Manuel Bellman. Manuel Bellman. Manuel, the 5 of coins. And coins aren't always money, although this card always looks as if someone's down and out on the street. And you may be feeling that way, like a lot of us are feeling that way. But that's not the case. This card says that you have the wisdom to overcome any obstacle right now, whether it's love, money, security, safety. You have the ability, and all the knowledge you need is in your hands and in your head. You just have to realize it. Diane DePrima. Well, this is always looking scary. This is 9 of Swords. The 9 perpetuates itself, and you may have a problem sleeping, and reason being your emotional state, the underlying depression that you have, which is very probably minimal, but keeping you awake. And it looks as though you're feeling as though the world is against you only. Well, that's so, and you are privileged. And I don't see why you can't understand that. And this card is protecting you while you sleep. These swords are not harming you, they're there to protect you while you're sleeping. Interesting. Amy Pitts. And we have wands again. And the nine perpetuates itself and continues to grow. There's a staircase here. The staircase usually represents that you need to step up, literally, and illuminate yourself in some way. Reading, understanding. This is not make believe. Psychic work comes from an actual form of mental power that we all have. We glean this information from you and from the universal mind. And you need to educate yourself a little bit more about several subjects for everything to continue. The pause in between is so I can see the name. Meg Canton. Meg Canton. Queen of Wands. Oh, Megan. One of my favorite people who is not with us anymore is named Megan. An elegant English lady. The Queen. That is someone, it may be you or someone around you, but I have a feeling it's you that wants to be the hostess with the mostest, as I say. That you like to entertain people, you like to have people around you. You can be a peaceful person, and that's a really good thing. And I think you have a generous quality, and I hope that you're using it. Looks like you can, because you're an authority in this way of life where you could be out there helping people. And I think that may be what this is about, that you will be rewarded for this greatly, for the help you're giving others. Gina Balmanian? Balmanian? Is that an Armenian name by any chance? It may be. We have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords says that you should be careful, and you should realize that we're all vulnerable. You're not it's not happening to other people, it's happening to all of us. So an awareness about that means that you should protect yourself just a little bit more, rather than just taking it for granted that someone's going to come along and save you. I don't think so. I think that you need to save yourself. Gabriel Owen. Page of Wands. A very youthful mind, which is wonderful. Childlike. It's time you started writing stories or something, or creating things. I'm sure that you could be good at it if you allowed yourself, and you certainly must have the time now. And if not, that means you're using that creativity to do good work, because that's what this represents. The page is royalty. You're royalty. Fawn Amber. That's an odd name, but a nice name. A lot of wands. We pulled up the Eight of Wands now. And the Eight of Wands looks like almost in the shape of a tower. They have it in, they're lit, the crystals on the end are bright, and it looks like they're flying through the air, which is your mind. Your mind is racing, but it needs to race in a correct way. You need to have one focus here and stop scattering your mind and your energies and focus on your future. And like we always say, in order to manifest what you want, you have to see the complete end result. Brandy Lee. Brandy Lee. Page of Swords, Brandy. Once again, protecting yourself. It means, I think you take this seriously. I'm not positive, but I think that's what this represents, that you are protecting yourself and trying very hard to understand what's going on in the world. And what we need to pay attention to is what the people who are dealing with the virus says, not necessarily some authorities who actually are not dealing with it and giving out some really wrong information. We do have to stay home. We should not be opening up our businesses now, and we should not allow ourselves out without protection in any way, shape, or form. It seems that in one of the countries lifted a curfew, and when they lifted the curfew, to that time they only had 40 cases, and after they lifted the curfew, they had how many? 5,000?
1,200.
1,200 cases right after they lifted the curfew. So that says something, that we're not ready yet to open business, to go outside with other people, and it's just not possible. Meredith Lee. Meredith. Lovely name. Lovely name. That name, it represents, it represents someone who is learned and who is very much in love with animals. So Meredith, I'm sure you probably have all that. This is a Palace of Swords. The Palace of Swords says that you are stable, you're a stable person, and you're helping others, and that your surroundings have been fortified all along. And I think you're one of the people who are out there helping everyone, and I really give you honor and praise for that. Alan Reposh. Alan Reposh. The Knight of Swords. Well, Alan, Alan, I guess this is about you being a knight. The knight is always someone who is a champion, who's wanting to help people, who's trying really hard, and is offering themselves to others. And in this case, I think it might be overdone. You need to pull back a little bit and take care of yourself. It's important that you do that right now. And love yourself a little more. You're a good person, and you need to know that. Dustin King. I always loved that name, King, of course. Well, Five of Cups. We have to be careful what we put into our bodies and what we put into our mouth. We have to be careful of the food that we're eating now. We have to always be careful of that. And this says that you need nourishment of some kind. I don't know if you take vitamins, but it looks like you might need to. And you need to not go by the wild and crazy things that you might hear about what to ingest to protect you from illness. There's some really scary ideas out there that are not true. We need to stick to simple things that are nourishing. And nourishing yourself sometimes it means mental nourishment as well. You need to sit back and not fret and worry so much. It won't get you. It doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't help the situation. Gina Albert. Lovely. The Two of Coins. Now the Two of Coins again, this is money. And it looks like there's going to be a balance in your financial situation, not to worry so much. And you can look forward to the future to that balance. And it's going to help you a great deal. But again, it also says that you need to study. You have Jupiter on your side. So Jupiter usually is a planet of success, expansion, all the wonderful. It's our favorite, planet, most likely. But you have that in your favor. So look forward to all the things that you already have and more. Exciting. That's very exciting. Allison Bejana. Allison Bejana. Another Four of Swords. Now, the swords, again, a lot of people are frightened of them, and this shows someone sleeping, and all the swords are right there. But that's protection for you. It means you're going to be fine, even though you're not aware of what's going on around you often. It seems that you just don't often, sometimes you just don't get it. You think you understand what's going on, but you truly don't. But you also have Jupiter on your side. So things are going to turn out okay. Lovely to have that card. And Polly Shay. Polly Shay. I thought I had a Polly the other day. Is it the same one? Polly, you already had a reading. I'm going to bypass you, Polly, for someone else. People are waiting. Sorry, you've already had your card. We find anybody? Angela Paradiso. Paradiso, that's paradise. The Six of Cups, and boy, is this like paradise. This is you having everything you want, whether you realize it or not. And maybe you do. Maybe you know you're doing okay. But this should let you know that you are. You can have what you want. And you need to allow yourself to accept that. And accept the situation you're in right now. And it looks like love is coming. So along the line, there is love combined with this goodness. A lot of us may not have that now, but someone around you may be a Leo, and that energy, the sun energy, is very good for you, extremely good for you. And I'm talking about the magical use of the sun's energy for healing, etc. Lisa Cohen, Ten of Coins. You're starting to enlighten yourself, Lisa. You need to read and read and read. And when you put a book down after you've learned something from it, you should go back and read it once more, because it's hard to retain all the information, especially in the books on witchcraft that are out now. They're quite extensive. They're very good books, but you can't learn it all in one reading. And you need to go back and read again and again in order to grasp all the information you need. And it's open for you right now. It's open for you to get a great education. And it may be also the offering of some kind of schooling, which is wonderful for you. Keisha Johnson. Keisha. isn't that a singer named Keisha? And she's very sexy and cute. And yeah, she's awesome. Ooh, the sun. You have the sun. Healing. This is healing, but it's not only healing of body, it's the healing of mind and spirit. The sun's energy is part of an Egyptian deity, Egyptian goddesses, and Isis is one of the top of all power. She's all that has been, all that is, and all that shall be. And the sun's energy she can bestow upon you because she controls the sun by words. Irene Tassone. Irene Tassone. There's a struggle going on. And that struggle looks as though it may be people around you are giving you some hard times or some bad information, if nothing else. You can't listen to everybody. You can't please everyone. It's not a good time for you to try to please people. It's time to take care of yourself. And do not argue. Arguing, again, it just lights the fire for someone to argue back. Usually when you smile at an enemy or someone who's arguing and walk away, it leaves them with nothing to do. Nothing to do. I don't know what to do in between these names, This is getting very difficult for me. Julie Ann, the Emperor, an authority figure. There may be someone that you believe is an authority that may not be your authority. You may look at this being or person as a higher power than you, and that's not so. You need to use your own power. And on top of that, there may be someone of power that can help you later on. I need to have a sip of tea before I do another one. And I don't know how many of you drink tea, but I do constantly. And I know all my friends in England, Wales, and Scotland are drinking tea. Mary Alderman, the magician. Mary, the magician. Whether you believe in magic or not, it is real. And it's a science. And quantum physics and scientists today have grasped the understanding of how the mind produces the world and can change things and heal ourselves, etc. But it's a practice we need to keep practicing. We have lost the ability, in many cases, to use it properly. But your brain will project whatever you're thinking. And that's why we always say, be careful what you think. You may get it. And we have Kelly Chen. There's a moon issue here, Kelly. The moon affects you pretty strongly. And I think we're coming up to a full moon, aren't we? Or are we? Yes, we are. So your emotions may be a little out of control. So let's watch that a little bit. And there's a Taurus. It's May. The Taurus is May. It's the 5th month. That's about love. And it looks as though, I don't know, it's the 6 of coins. The number 6 is the universal mind number. So it looks like you can project and you will receive in time the things that you really want. So again, this is a card of magic. So use your projections, your prayers, see your end result, and be adamant about what you want. Don't give up what you want. Don't take no for an answer. Sue Farakos. I'm going to shuffle cards so that we got something new here. We're using almost the entire deck each time we do this. It's quite a few readings, isn't it? It's a lot of cards. But that's what I want to do. I'm trying to reach as many of you as I can, because I know we all need a helping hand. And if I can help, it's my job. Okay. Sue Faragos, that's the one. Okay. I like that name. This is a Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands usually is a very generous person. Oftentimes is someone highly educated. It could be a doctor or a lawyer, or have a good job and be highly educated, and or a servant, maybe even a politician. And this is around you or being given to you. It's time for you to accept those kind of positions yourself. In other words, you need to look at what you can accomplish and you go for it. And now's the time to do whatever it is you want to do, because you don't have to do what someone else tells you to do. Jordan Million. Now that's a lovely name. Million. The Nine of Cups. And again, this, as we've seen this card before, is the cup runneth over. And it's the cup offers you a libation, it offers you shelter, everything in the world, treasure, happiness. That's what this card represents. And it looks as though it's coming to you, and there's the perfect couple up there, the symbol of Pisces and the symbol of Jupiter, because they're closely connected. And that means that maybe your chart, your astrological chart, is really in favor right now, much more than you imagine. You probably should confer with an astrologer. Sandy Lawton. Now, Lawton was one of my family's name. My aunt, Muffy, my aunt Muffy married 8 times, and she did marry a man named Lawton at one time. She was married to the president of Panama once, etc. The Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a doorway opening for you. There is an opportunity waiting for you. Don't turn it down. Whatever that offer is, it's meant for you. It's good for you. It has a lot to do with your brain. This is, an Aries symbol. This Aries symbol shows fire in the brain. It also has to do with partnerships and marriage as well. So whatever this offer is, it could be permanent. So be careful what you're accepting. That's all. Because it's all nice. Tina Winter. Tina, you have the devil card, and we don't believe in a devil. We didn't ever have one. It doesn't exist in our DNA structure. And the devil card to me represents DNA changes. In other words, someone who is adopted, or DNA is extremely different from the rest of the family. And that may be you. I don't know if you've had your DNA done, but it looks like it might be very powerful. That DNA may give you some information that you would never have had in any other way. But it doesn't mean you're adopted. It means that you have a very strong change in your DNA that doesn't necessarily suit the family. Lisa Hernandez. That sounds familiar too, no? Okay. Lisa Hernandez. Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. Oh my goodness. A lot of power you have right now, whether you realize it or not. You do have the power to change things. Now, in the Cabot tradition, we use swords, and we use a replica, supposedly, of Excalibur. And we never use swords for fighting or harming. We use them like a magic wand. And that's kind of what this represents for you. It's a wand of power that is unlike anyone else's. You should grab that power and use it well. Vicki Wallace. Vicki. Page of Coins, Vicki. The Page of Coins is a young man or young person. I think it's you. I think you have a very young attitude, young mind, and you're lots of fun. I could hear you laugh and giggle, and I think it's wonderful. You can create your own business, and you could have the job you want, but you've got to choose in between those two things. And my suggestion would be, but you just design your own way of earning a living. I think you can do that. Alex Lucas. Alex. A 3 of Cups. The number 3 also is the universal number. The cups are fulfilled. That means there's a healing going on. And that healing will come around. And this could be not only a physical healing, but definitely a mental healing. It has to do with Mercury and the Cancerians. Cancerians have a very emotional mind. And the moon this time is very powerful. So don't let your emotions get away with you. I have to have a, now I need a sip of tea. I have a frog in my throat. Lynn Roberge, is that it? 8 of Coins. Lynn, this looks like there is a job waiting for you. That's what this represents. And whatever that is, it's better than whatever you've had before. And it could be in the same kind of business, but better. And you've got the sun symbol up there. The sun symbol says you're going to make more money. That couldn't be better for anyone in this time. Valerie Hamilton. Valerie Hamilton. Hamilton, of course, is a historic name, as we know. This is another card every one of us wants. It's the Strength card. It's power. And it means strength mentally, physically, and spiritually. In my mind, this means you are spiritually strong. And you should use that spirit to achieve all the things you need to achieve now. And that could be love, money, all of the whole lifespan that you have in front of you. Laura Tanucci. Oh my goodness, a High Priestess. Laura, I'm not sure. This is about spirituality. This is about deity, about our ancestors. Our ancestors are our gods and goddesses. They're real people in the other world, just like your grandmother and your rest of your ancient ones. And these people will come to us and help us. We can speak to the other world. That's what clairvoyancy is. And most of us have that. This represents a goddess from ancient times. I don't know which one it is. Maybe you can find out or meditate on it yourself. And you should honor her. She's there for you. Vicki Payne. Seven of Cups. 7 of Cups is looks again like the fulfillment of everything on there. A lot of choices. Some of them not so good. It's hard to make up your mind which to take. And that makes a good sense here. You have to be careful what you decide now. You can't just let things fall into place by themselves. You have to be the one in power. And 7 is the number of karma. Now, karma doesn't mean that something bad's going to happen because you did something bad in a past life. That's not true. Karma just means the working out of your life. And right now you're given a chance to work out your life in a way that is strong and healthy, making the right choices right now. Patty Shaw. The Four of Wands, Patty. The four is a fortress. It's like you're fortified. In other words, everything around you is going to protect you. You have to realize that. You may not realize it, but you are fortified. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going and what you're doing. And if you deny that, then you just make things muddle. But allow the universe to create what you want. Sabrina Hinkle. Now Sabrina's a witchy name. We love that name. I had a cat, Sabrina, once, you know. And Sabrina helped Molly Boo out us as witches in Salem because Molly Boo ran up a tree. And I had to call the authorities. Anyway, this is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is, again, it's time for you to use your power. Use it. Don't wait for someone to give you permission. Don't wait for someone else to do what needs to be done. You have to do this yourself. Help's not coming in the way that you think it might. Rita Walters. Rita's another name we know from Bulgaria. We love Rita. I hope Rita's watching right now. She's a high priestess, or about to be a high priestess, that is. This is the King of Coins. This means there is someone around you who is financially stable and can help you. And you need to reach out to this person. There's no reason that you shouldn't. I think that you're going to be fine. And I don't know if you realize how much help you've already had. You know, you need to be grateful for what you already have. Brian Kowalski, is that a name I've seen before? No, this is another one. Okay. A Russian friend, no doubt. No, but is he Polish? I don't know, but that name...
He's a Cabot.
I know, but I'm talking about his last name. I know, we don't know. Sorry. Okay, Ace of Cups. Oh, how wonderful. This is an honor that you're going to receive for something that you're doing. So you're doing something right. And it's an accolade and a prize of some kind that's coming to you. And it could mean, too, in some ways, that you might find some treasure somewhere. Interesting. I like treasure hunting. I went on a treasure hunt once with some professional treasure hunters years and years ago. Kimberly Stephenson. Kimberly. 7 of Coins. Money on a tree. I don't think you need to worry too much. That money will grow on a tree for you. It depends. Again, this all depends on us right now. And this says there's a Taurus symbol here and a Saturn symbol. The Saturn means hard work. You need to be the one to grow the tree, so to speak. In other words, maybe you need to start your own business, or if you already have your own business, you need to work harder at it. Stacy Simon. Stacy is another nice name. Card of Faith. Now, I don't believe in believing. I think we need to know what we're doing. I like science. I like fact. We can have faith in ourselves. That's what we can have. And that's where it should be. Right now, you are the one who's in charge of you. And you need to be the leader. You need to, if you want to reach out to the ancient ones or to universal mind for help, there's nothing wrong with that. You certainly will get help if you ask for it. Dan Owen. Dan Owen is the moon. Ooh, it's coming up. When is it? Is it tomorrow night? I don't know. I'm sorry, I just didn't look at the calendar. But, so I know that it's very strong, this moon. And it's also strong because we're all locked in the house or we're out giving our lives up to someone, trying to help people, one or the other, or looking for food that we don't have, etc. This is a very stressful time.
Next week.
What?
Next week.
Next week. Well, it's already building up, that full moon. Don't let it get you. Don't let your emotions get out of control, because this is a perfect scenario for that, for every one of us. And especially for you. You need to be very careful about that. And do not try to spur the emotions in anyone else, by the way. No arguing. Lisa Jones. Lisa. Temperance. Lisa, you might not want to. You need to temper down. You need to relax, chill out. Your stress and the way you're doing things is not going to work. It will work out, but only if you just sort of relax a little bit more and allow yourself not to get caught up into fear of anything right now. There's nothing right now to fear. Amy Elia? I've never heard that name. That's interesting. Sounds like a fairy name to me. The Palace of Coins. Well, I don't know if you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I was, but it was quickly taken away. But this is about someone who is really well off in so many ways. Usually we think of it as material gain and security, but it may be more than that. You may be living in a body that could create things that no one else can create. I don't know if you are in school, have gone to school, but study and activities that you can create are things that you should be doing right now. Carl Rogers. There used to be a cowboy show when I was a little girl. Roy Rogers was a cowboy movie star, and every Saturday afternoon for 25 cents, you could go to the theater, and all the children went, and you could stay there, and they'd play movie after movie after movie, all cowboy movies. It was so much fun. The Hanging Man. The Hanging Man means, well, try not to repeat the things that you've done before that didn't work out. You know, what do they say about being crazy? Crazy is doing the same thing over and over and expecting it to change or be different. Well, the outcome is going to be different if you do the same things over and over. Have to change the way you're doing something. And that's a good thing right now for you. Tina Shope. Two of Cups, wonderful. I love this card. It has two swans, and they almost make a heart with their little beaks together. And it's about love. And it looks as though there may be love coming, and you're not even aware of it, or it's around you and you're not aware of it. But this is more about self-love, about you looking in the mirror and putting your thumb up and saying, I'd rather be me. I don't want to be anybody else. I'm okay. Look what I've done. And look what I'm doing. You know, you have to own who you are right now. And we certainly are giving the space to do that. Vicky Gallo. Queen of Coins, Vicky. The Queen of Coins, of course, is someone who knows how to make money, and maybe you don't realize that you probably have the wherewithal to solidify your financial stability in some way that you haven't thought of yet. And it's interesting. I think that the queen aspect of this means, again, you need to put a crown on your head, pull it down nice and tight, and say, I will do this and I won't do that. You need to be sovereign. You need to be the queen. That's what it's all about in this world right now. Jackie Serino. Jackie Serino is the Queen of Cups. So a lot of queens right now. And that's a wonderful thing. A Queen of Cups. Well, usually she's kind of fluffy. She is not aware of a lot of things around her usually. And the moon affects her greatly. She might be prone to addiction of some kind. Well, that could be chocolate, you know. It doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol, but addictive to passion, addictive to a way of life that you may not have right now. So it's to watch those things for you right now. You need to watch those things. Heather Miles. Heather. That's a beautiful plant. I remember near the mountains of Scotland, there was a babbling brook, a beautiful area at the bottom of a mountain, and the heather was growing on the side of the brook. And some of it was bending over so the water touched it, and when you held it in your hand, the scent was absolutely intoxifying and beautiful. Never forget that. Justice. Justice is yours if you want it. That means if there's been something against you, you should call on a goddess or god that will help you receive what is rightfully yours. I suggest, and from what I know, is Maka, the goddess Maka, and you should look her up because she can do what you can't, what we can't harm people. J. Ross, a J, all right, J. Jeremy, whatever, Jerry, no, probably not. You have the star. Now the star is really an Aquarian card. That means that you probably look at things in a gestalt way. In other words, you look at the whole picture, the whole world at one time, and you want to help the whole world. And sometimes by doing that, you can ignore sometimes people closer to you. You can't help the whole world. We do it by helping what is near us, one by one. Michael Greywolf. Greywolf.
Michelle.
What is it? Oh, Michelle. I'm sorry. Sorry, Michelle. I made you into a male person. Greywolf is a very powerful name, and I did know a man whose first name was Greywolf, a Native American. You have the Empress card. The Empress is maybe politically inclined. In other words, would probably make a good leader of some kind. And if this represents you, then you should take on that position in some way. If it isn't you, then it means you need to go to someone in charge to get the things that you want. You need to do your homework. Anthony Kong. And it is the wheel. The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune just simply means, like karma, the word karma, it's the working out of your life. The wheel will turn. It depends on what you've done in the past to what will come in the future. Witches have 8 holidays. 8 holidays, and they're really not holidays. They're observances, they're rituals where we stop and take assessment of what we've accomplished physically, mentally, and magically, and then project ourselves into the future as all the things we want to achieve. So take an assessment of everything you've already achieved and then make up your mind of what you are going to achieve in the coming year. Anna DiPippo, Anna DiPippo, Anna. 4 of coins. The 4 of coins, again, the number 4 is like the fortress, isn't it? 4 walls, something to protect you. So I think if you haven't already protected your money or your finances or the things you own, now's the time to do it. And if you haven't got a savings account, and a lot of us don't, because we think we have to have a lot of money to save some. And the fact that if we saved $10 a week, think back, what would that have done? And it would have accrued all kinds of interest, and you'd have more money right now than you would have any other way. Saving is important, and I'm hoping that that's what this represents, because if it is, it means you have a treasure. Now, if that's not what it is, it can represent that you will find treasure in some way. Interesting. Karen Burbine. Karen Burbine. King of Swords, Karen. This is a policeman or a lawyer or a judge. It means there's some legal issue, whether it's good or bad, I don't know. Not all legal issues are bad. Sometimes those issues are helping to straighten out things that are pending for us. And I think you're going to get the help that you need. Laura Vesey. Laura Vesey is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups. This reminds me of a baby. I don't know if there's a baby around you. Maybe there is. It may not be yours. Or it's something brand new coming in like a baby. In other words, starting something brand new. A birth of some kind. And the birth could be, again, here we go. It could be a business. It could be a new job. Or a new relationship, or all the above. And that's basically what this is about. Kelly Slapman. Kelly Slapman. The Ten of Swords. Well, you cannot allow other people to tell you what you can and can't do. You definitely need to change your job, because you're under oppression with what you're doing, and it may be what you've always wanted to do, but it's not working somehow. We need to rethink that work and how you're living your life right now, because you're putting a lot of burden on yourself. This isn't about someone else harming you. It's about you harming yourself in some way. That's often what we do anyway. We can't see the forest for the trees sometimes when we think we're doing the right thing. And oftentimes you can't take the opinion of others. You do have to make the decisions. Rose Taylor. Rose Taylor. Well, it's the Three of Swords. Again, the Three of Swords, the 3 is the universal number. You're getting protection from the universe. Protection. Can you imagine from the universe? What does that mean? I think I have that, because I look back on my life at all the incidences that happened where I could have been killed or hurt, or something terrible could have happened and I was saved. And that happened to me quite a few times in my life. And that's what this is about. You're going to be protected by the universe. And this is my last reading right now. And I do need a cup of tea, and I haven't been able to drink it all, but I'm so happy to be with you. I hope it's helpful. I'd like to hear from you and understand, if I'm listening to you psychically. I know I'm with you because I can feel each one of you. It's actually a wonderful and lovely thing to have this happen. We're very fortunate in this day and age so we can be together. And it's fun watching TV now. You watch all the stars in their homes. Not very glamorous, those homes. I noticed behind Kelly Ripa, there's nothing but a lamp, a white wall, and a white... I don't know what happened, but it's not that interesting. But she is, and she's gorgeous. So all the people on television are working very hard, learning how to communicate the way we are. And I think we're somewhat, you and I are pretty much good at this right now. And we should be, and we should continue to always call on me and ask me what you need, and I will do my best to help you. And I will always cast spells and magic to save us, to protect us, and to give us love. And, every ending is a beginning, and for which from there we must withdraw.